Hi there! Happy December. For a lot of people out there, December is just the end of the year, the countdown to the beginning of the new year. New start, new memories to make, new English words to learn. For a lot of people, Christmas is not a celebration that is in your calendar. But for people in Europe, America, Canada, December is Christmas time, or holiday season, as Americans call it. I wanted to create a video today that is a bit more casual, a bit more conversational, less me teaching you something, and more some interesting cultural, traditional facts and ideas from the UK, from England, where I'm from. So you can treat this video as listening practice, a glimpse into British culture, or just a way to learn something new. There will be new vocabulary throughout this video, and I will put any new vocabulary up on the screen as well. Maybe you're just here watching this video because you work with British people and you maybe want to understand their traditions, their cultures more. Whatever reason you want to watch today, I'm sure it will be helpful for you in some way, or at least interesting. Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm a business English teacher. I work with intermediate to advanced level students. And before I start, I want to make a disclaimer. Whilst Christmas started off as a religious holiday, that's why it exists, because it was a Christian holiday. To many, many people worldwide, it no longer has a religious meaning or message. I know a lot of people might be shocked by that because it is a Christian holiday, but Christmas in America and England has become more about gift giving, spending money, spending time with family, eating good food, celebrating, counting down to the end of the new year, rather than the religious message it initially was created for. So just bear that in mind. Today's video is not coming from a place of religion, but a place of tradition and culture and ideas from a particular country. So the first thing to note is actually Christmas is on different days depending on which calendar the country you're from looks at. I think it's Gregorian and Julian calendar if I'm correct with that. So, for example, Spain, Italy, Germany, Christmas, the day of Christmas is on the 24th of December. England and America, it is on the 25th of December. In Russia, they celebrate on the 7th of January. And in some countries, they don't actually celebrate Christmas Day, but New Year. And all of the Christmas decorations, all of the Christmas events are leading up to New Year, not Christmas. Now, you may see me as cynical for what I'm about to say. Cynical means maybe you doubt people or you don't have a lot of trust in people or their ideas. But in my personal opinion, Christmas is a bit too consumerized. It's a bit too much about consumerism. Consumerism is the act of buying, the act of spending money. Sometimes because you need to, but most of the time because you do not need to. So one of the things that Christmas has become and what people do during the December month is buy a lot of presents for friends, for family, for anyone they feel they want to give a present to. And we wrap the presents in wrapping paper so that it's a surprise for them and they can enjoy opening it. And one thing maybe you've heard in the office is Secret Santa. Secret Santa is when you buy a gift for someone but they do not know who it's from. That's the secret part of it. So you know who you're buying for, but they do not know who has given them the gift. And a lot of offices in the UK, a lot of businesses in the UK will participate in Secret Santa. Everyone buys one gift and everyone receives one gift. Nowadays, people have become so busy, so occupied by other things in their life that they don't have time to wrap the presents themselves, and you can now pay someone else to wrap your presents, which to me is madness. Not only are you buying the gift, but you are paying someone else to wrap that gift for you. And for me, wrapping the present is one of the best parts. It's very creative. It's taking time out of your day to do something fun and creative for someone else. Now, typically in England, we will have a specific food that we eat during Christmas time, especially on Christmas Day. And you may know this as Sunday roast because we also eat it on a Sunday. Again, linking back to Christianity, and Sunday is the holy day. So Christmas being the holiest day in the calendar, we eat this food on the holy days. Traditional English food will look like this. It will be traditionally, it was a turkey, and you had vegetables and gravy and Yorkshire puddings. If you don't know what a Yorkshire pudding is, ask a British person. They love Yorkshire puddings. And some people can't understand why, because there's no flavour at all to a Yorkshire pudding. It's basically flour and water mixed together to create a batter, a dough that is in a bowl shape. And you can put your food in this bowl shape, you can put your gravy in this bowl shape, or you can just eat it on the side. I will admit I love Yorkshire puddings. A roast dinner is not a roast dinner without Yorkshire puddings. And I have had many arguments with my mum because she's forgotten or doesn't want to include Yorkshire puddings that year. So fun fact about turkeys is they actually came from overseas. When the British went to the Americas, they found these birds, these big birds that were larger than chickens, so therefore more meat, and brought them back to England. When they were originally brought back during the Tudor period, they were so expensive to buy that they were considered a royal bird. Normal people, average people, could not eat turkeys. They could not afford to eat turkeys, so they would eat chickens. And traditionally, and I believe this is a Tudor recipe, they would put 3 birds inside of each other, which is kind of disgusting. They would take a smaller bird like a duck and put it inside a chicken and put the chicken inside the turkey and cook the whole thing. This was called a 3-bird roast. You can still find 3-bird roast in the UK. I've never eaten it. I think the idea is disgusting, but a lot of people do eat it, and you can find it in some places. Nowadays, we're not that extravagant. You will either buy a chicken or a turkey, it doesn't matter. And you just cook it and eat it with your vegetables and your gravy. Nowadays, you can get turkeys in any shape or size. They are more affordable. They're definitely expensive. I would say you wouldn't eat a turkey every day. It's definitely an item you would only buy during a special occasion. And the UK will always have a turkey crisis at some point during December because the turkeys start to run out and there's not enough turkeys for everyone to eat. Turkeys become few and far between. We also have the Christmas pudding, which is very traditionally English. It's made of fruits and it's made months in advance. If you want to make a real Christmas pudding, you have to start it months before December. I think my grandmother would start it at the beginning of the year, and you bring it out every month, add more alcohol, and put it back to soak up all of that alcohol. Then, just before you eat it, you set fire to the pudding. And because it's full of alcohol, it glows blue. It looks quite amazing when you see it. It's always very exciting. Everyone at the table goes, ooh. But there's a lot of alcohol in this pudding, and I think it shows the British tradition of having alcohol with everything. I want to talk about Santa Claus, and the idea of Santa. So I'm sure you've seen a Christmas movie at some point. Santa is the big man in the red suit with the white beard that comes down the chimney and gives children presents. And he typically rides on reindeer, or he doesn't ride on them. The reindeers pull the sleigh. And interestingly enough, in the stories about Santa, the reindeers are considered men, male reindeers, but male reindeers lose their antlers. These are antlers during the winter season. So those reindeers are females, not male reindeers, as it's always told in the stories. But funnily enough, the idea of Santa Claus came from Germany. I think in Germany it's St. Nicholas, not Santa Claus. He would be called St. Nicholas. And St. Nick was an actual saint, that was the saint that represented children, which is why he would bring gifts to children on Germany's Christmas, which is the 7th, so the night of the 6th of January. He would bring all children presents because that was his role as the saint, was to make children happy and look after them. Traditionally, this is what St. Nicholas is thought to have looked like. And of course, the stories of St. Nicholas are a bit more believable than the stories of Santa Claus. The original idea of Santa Claus and how he looked and what he looked like came from Coca-Cola. So I'm sorry if I'm going to ruin the idea of Santa Claus for you here, but if you work in marketing, this will be very interesting for you. Coca-Cola wanted to create a figure that represented Christmas. And originally, they took the St. Nicholas image and made him purple and green. So St. Nicholas was bringing gifts to children at Christmas time in December in the form of Coca-Cola bottles. So you could drink Coke as like an exciting gift from a family member. But Coca-Cola's branding is red and white. So the marketing team of Coca-Cola decided this doesn't really fit our brand. We need to change Santa Claus. We need to change St. Nicholas. So Coca-Cola made Santa Claus red and white to fit their branding. We'll come back to Coca-Cola in a minute because there is a big tradition in the UK relating to Coca-Cola. But first of all, I want to focus on the tradition that came from Germany. So in England, we have something called stockings, and they are typically big socks that you hang by the fireplace, or if you don't have a fireplace, by your bed. And Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, will fill up these stockings with gifts and sweets and chocolate and oranges. But if you've been a bad child that year, you haven't behaved, you've been naughty, he will fill it up with coal. And some people believe this is an old wives' tale. An old wives' tale means something that mothers tell their children so that they behave. So some people believe this is an old wives' tale. Some people believe there's truth in it. But either way, if you're a good child, your stocking gets filled with sweets and toys. And if you're a bad child, it gets filled with coal. These stockings, again, come from Germany because in German tradition, children leave their shoes outside of their home, and St. Nicholas puts their toys and sweets and chocolate in the shoes. We've kind of tailored that tradition for the UK audience, which is these big stockings. So back to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, about 27 years ago, so in 1995, decided they wanted to create an advertising campaign reminding everyone that Christmas is a time to drink Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola can be your drink at the table when you're drinking with your family. And so they created an advert which had big red lorries driving around different towns in England and giving out free Coke. This then became tradition. So every year now in the UK, the Coca-Cola lorry drives around every town in England, and if you catch it and take a photo with it, you can drink free Coke. They give out bottles of Coke or glasses of Coke to people. I've seen it once by accident. I was driving and it drove past me. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to follow it and get my free Coke. But a lot of people, they get really excited when the Coca-Cola lorry comes to their city and they take photos with it, and it's a representation that Christmas is here. The holiday time is here. And I think their slogan is even holidays are coming, always Coca-Cola, or holidays are coming, it's Coca-Cola, something like that. So they're claiming the holiday season. Talking about advertisements, one of the things that's really interesting in the UK is the Christmas adverts. Around end of November, December time, every single brand in the UK wants to make the best Christmas advert. They want you to cry, they want you to miss your family, they want you to associate all those feelings with their brand and really make a heartwarming ad. So heartwarming means you feel good after you've seen it. You really feel like you understand the people in that advert. You understand the family. You have the same feeling as the people. Nowadays, people wait for these Christmas adverts to come out, and you will cry. You will 100% cry. One of my favorite ones, I can't remember which brand it was now, but it was one of the UK supermarkets. They had a father learning to skateboard, and you're kind of watching this thinking, why is he learning to skateboard? And you can see the Christmas decorations going up, and he's still going out and skateboarding every day. And then just before Christmas, him and his wife adopt a girl from a local orphanage, from a local home that loves skateboarding. And you realize the father has been learning to skateboard so that when his new daughter comes to the home, he has something in common with her. And then you see on Christmas Day, she opens a brand new skateboard and they go out skateboarding together. I cried. I cried when I saw that. It sounds ridiculous, but the marketing agencies that create these adverts know exactly what to do to get in your emotions, to make you feel what they want you to feel. One of my favorite things about Christmas is how generous people become at Christmas time. And I personally like to donate as much as possible during Christmas time. So people will donate money, they will go carol singing. Carol singing is when you sing traditional hymns from the Christian church, but nowadays it's changed a bit, and people will sing pop songs or their versions of pop songs mixed in with these traditional Christmas carol songs. And they raise money and they donate it to a homeless shelter or a big charity. You also have coats for the homeless in the UK, where at winter time, if you realize you have 5 coats and you don't wear all of them, you can donate your coats and they will go out and give your coat to the homeless people that don't have money to buy coats and winter jackets. I really like this aspect of Christmas. People are very generous and kind to each other, and there really is a magic in the air. If you ever go to England at Christmas time, you'll feel it. It feels very magical. People smile at each other, they wave at each other, they wish each other a good day, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. A stranger in the street will even stop you and say, for example, I love your antlers, have a Happy New Year. Christmas really is a beautiful time where lots of beautiful things can happen. People feel more generous, they feel more positive, they are looking forward to a new beginning, the end of the year, the start of something new, maybe a reincarnation of themselves. But it can also make others who don't have such a big circle or a big family or lots of friends, or even who have to work on the 25th of December, feel very, very lonely. I have spent many Christmases alone because I used to work in an industry that did not stop over the holiday period. So I would only have the 24th and 25th off work. And that wasn't enough time to get the train home to see my mum and dad. So I would spend time alone, or I would find colleagues that were also in the same situation and we would cook together. A lot of people nowadays choose not to celebrate Christmas. And I think this is why, because they don't want to feel lonely, or they don't want to be reminded that they are not with family. But for the most part, a lot of people really enjoy Christmas. They enjoy everything that comes with it. They enjoy the traditions, the food. Oh, and I can't believe I forgot. There's a couple of things that have come over from Germany that are some of my favorites. So there's Glühwein, which is mulled wine in English, and it's red wine with oranges and cinnamon inside, and it's hot. It's hot wine. So it really makes you feel warm on a cold day. And hot apple cider's quite a traditionally British thing. I don't think many countries have cider. It's an alcohol made from apples, so it looks like beer, but it's a lot softer and easier and fruitier to drink. And hot apple cider is warm cider. So again, it's cold outside, your fingers are freezing, your nose is cold, and you have this jug of hot apple cider and it just warms you up. And of course, German markets. In the UK now, we have hundreds of Christmas markets that sell things from Germany. And I personally would love to go to Germany to see all of these traditional Christmas markets, to see where England has got it from. Let me know in the comments, what do you do for your end of year celebrations? What does your country typically do? What do those celebrations look like? What do you eat? What is the main message of that holiday? Do you buy gifts for your family? I hope you enjoyed this little lesson on British traditions. It was quite short, but I think it gave you an idea, and there was some history in there too. I didn't want to make this video too long because it's not so much a lesson, it's more just me talking and you listening, and I'm not sure if that's something that you want to have on this channel. But I've enjoyed making this, as you can tell, with my antlers. I like to get into the spirit of things. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something from today, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.